Lavender, and lavender once again. What's up, 23% Nation? This is your man, Coach D. Today, I'm back with vegetable of the day, the one and only lavender. Now, some of you may already have an issue with Coach D. You may be wondering, well, Coach D, I heard lavender was a spice. I heard it was an herb, but now you're telling me it's a vegetable? Well, to find out, ladies and gentlemen, please listen and watch on why, because we're about to dive just a little deeper into the wonderful world of lavender. All right, first up, a little bit of background information. 23% Nation, let's dive right into it. Lavender is an herb. I'll say it once again. Lavender is not a vegetable, it's actually an herb, native to northern Africa and the mountainous regions of the Mediterranean. Now, some of us may be wondering, well, Coach D, why in the world did you name the title of the video Vegetable of the Day, right? Well, guys, simply I'm talking about plant foods. But yes, there is a difference between a vegetable and an herb. One of the primary differences is this. Vegetables are primarily used for food, as opposed to herbs, which are primarily used as medicines. So that's really going to be the topic for today. How do we use lavender for its medicinal purposes? So let's continue. Lavender is grown for the production of its essential oil, not food, which comes from the distillation of the flower spikes of certain lavender species. The oil has cosmetic uses, and it is believed to have some medicinal uses. So there we have it, guys. By the way, if you are wondering what in the world does lavender essential oil look like, well, just take a look at the picture. And by the way, don't forget to take a look at those beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, lavender flowers. All right, more background information. Lavender essential oil, in contrast to the plant form, is toxic when swallowed. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, the next time you see some lavender oil, number one, do not cook with it. And number two, do not drink it, okay? It has other uses. So that brings up a question. How do I use the oil, right? Well, here's one way. You can diffuse it at home, inhale it directly from the bottle, or apply it topically to the temples and back of the neck. Now, when you see the word topically, that simply refers to your skin. So yes, the lavender oil, you don't want to drink it, and you definitely do not want to cook with it. Instead, you want to place it in a diffuser, or you can inhale it, or you can simply apply it directly to the skin, namely your temples and the back of your neck. So there we have it, guys. A little more background information about lavender's essential oil. All right, more background information. The herb is highly regarded for skin and beauty and is commonly used in fragrances and shampoos to help purify the skin. Now, take a look at the picture. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a block of lavender soap. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Did you know that lavender can be purchased over the counter? That's right, guys, from drugstores. Interesting. And some versions are used to add flavor to baked goods and foods. But once again, we're talking about lavender being used as an herb for its medicinal purposes. Now, yes, as you can see, there are some versions that can be used as flavors for different types of foods and for different types of baked goods, but always do your research to know which specific type of oil to use for consumption. All right, now it's time for a few fun facts. The Egyptians used lavender for mummification and as a perfume. Wow, who knew? In fact, when King Tut's tomb was opened in 1923, there was said to be a faint scent of lavender that could still be detected after 3,000 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, if lavender oil was good enough for King Tut, then chances are it's good enough for you. That's right. So the next time you happen to come across some lavender oil, you may want to pick it up. You may feel king and or queen like. All right, more fun facts. The Romans used lavender oil for bathing, cooking, and purifying the air. And in the Bible, lavender oil was among the aromatics used for anointing and healing. Take a look at the picture, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The Romans used lavender oil in their baths. That's right. So not only is it good for the skin, but ladies and gentlemen, next time you take a bath, hopefully you're with someone else, right? Go ahead, drop a few droplets of lavender oil in there and have yourself a party. All right, now it's time for the not so fun facts. If you are already taking any prescription medication for sleep-related disorders or for depression, be cautious of the fact that lavender can increase the effectiveness of these medications. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're taking any type of prescription medication for any type of sleep-related disorder or for depression, you may want to ease back on the lavender oil. That's right. Why? Because it's only going to exacerbate, that's right, or we can say increase the effectiveness of these medications. So talk with your doctor or physician, okay, to get their medical opinion. All right, more not so fun facts. Lavender oil is generally considered safe for women who are pregnant and nursing, because it can have a relaxing effect on muscles and can also affect hormone levels. Use lavender with caution in your third trimester. So, ladies who are pregnant, ladies who are in their third trimester, please cut back on the lavender oil, okay? It may induce labor sooner rather than later. All right, more not so fun facts. Lavender oil is considered generally safe for children to use, although there is some concern that lavender's effect on hormone levels could be harmful for boys who have not yet gone through puberty. So, to all of my prepubescent boys that are out there listening to Coach D, do yourself a favor. Stay away from lavender oil. All right, guys. So this is more for the parents. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have young sons, then you may not want to use lavender oil on them. All right. So there we have it, guys. More not so fun facts about the one and only lavender. Okay, more not so fun facts. A 2013 evidence-based article highlighted that lavender can be ingested at a large dose of 80 to 160 milligrams without adverse effects, except for minor gastrointestinal symptoms. To avoid gastrointestinal irritation, keep internal use to a minimum and be careful if you have a sensitive digestive system. That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, 23% nation, if you already have a sensitive GI tract, then you probably want to adhere to this 80 to 160 milligram rule, right? But if you don't care, or if you know your body can tolerate more than what's recommended, then go right ahead. But don't be surprised if you experience some type of gastrointestinal discomfort. So there we have it, guys. A few more not so fun facts about the one and only lavender essential oil. All right, it's time to talk about the 520 rule. Ladies and gentlemen, the 520 rule is all about food labels. Basically, it's a guide. It's a guide that lets us know whether or not a food or beverage item is a good source or not a good source of any particular nutrient. Now, when we talk about the 520 rule, really what we're talking about is percent daily value, abbreviated %DV. Now let's take a look at our sample food label. As you can see, it is broken down into 3 main parts: purple, yellow, and blue. So let's take it part by part by part. The first part is the % daily value column. Now, as you can see, %DV is represented as a percentage. Now, it could be as low as 0% to as high as 100%. There are some rare cases where a food or beverage item may offer greater than 100% per serving, but keep in mind that is very rare. Now, let's talk about the yellow portion. The yellow portion basically highlights those nutrients which unfortunately can lead to sickness, illness, and disease. So the next time you eat or drink anything, you want to make sure that the %DV for those nutrients in particular are as close to 0% as possible. Now, let's take a look at the blue portion. So now we're talking about dietary fiber, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. Well, guys, these nutrients, unlike saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium, do just the opposite. Rather than promote sickness, illness, and disease, they promote wellness and health within the body temple. So the next time you eat or drink something, you probably want to make sure that the %DV for these nutrients are as close to 100% as possible. Now, when we talk about the 520 rule in specifics, here's what we want to be conscious of. If a food or beverage item offers 0% to 9% DV of any particular nutrient, then that food or beverage item is not a good source of that particular nutrient. Next, if a food or beverage item offers 10% to 19% DV, then that food or beverage item is considered a good source of that particular nutrient. Lastly, if the food or beverage item offers 20% DV or more, then that food or beverage item is considered an excellent source of that particular nutrient. So there we have it, guys, the ins and outs about the 520 rule. All right. Now, for today's lecture, we're going to skip over the nutrition facts. Why? Well, because ultimately, lavender is used for its oil, not necessarily as food. Remember, that's one of the primary differences between an herb and a vegetable. So we're just going to stick to the health benefits as opposed to it being used as a food item. So before we go into that, though, we got to talk about the principle of cause and effect, which basically states that every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. There really is no such thing as chance and or luck. In other words, everything happens for a reason. So here's what we have to understand about lavender is that number one, it's an herb, and number two, it produces oils. That's right. Now, these oils can be very, very beneficial for the human body. So what we're going to talk about now are not only the health benefits, which technically are the effects, but we're also going to explain to you the cause of these amazing health benefits. So, benefit number one, lavender oil offers antioxidant protection. Now, the question is, what's in the oil, Coach D, that allows it to protect us, right? Well, it has enzymes in it. So say hello to glutathione, catalase, and superoxide dismutase. Benefit number two, diabetes natural treatment. Well, the cause is the lavender essential oil. Number three, improves mood and reduces stress. Perfect. What's the cause? Well, it's the essential oil from lavender, but this time it's more about aromatherapy. Benefit number four, supports brain function. Well, guys, what's the cause? The lavender essential oil, but this time in vapor form. Benefit number five, it heals burns and cuts. Well, here's what we got to understand is that the lavender essential oil has antimicrobial properties. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So the next time you get a burn, the next time you get a cut or a scrape, Don't fret. Use a little bit of lavender oil. All right, more health benefits. Number 6, promotes healthy skin and hair. Now, listen to this. The cause is that lavender essential oil can be mixed with a carrier oil, such as coconut oil, jojoba oil, or grapeseed oil. Yummy. Benefit number 7, relieves headaches. What's the cause? It's the lavender essential oil. That's right, guys. Remember, you can apply the oil to your temples, meaning the sides of your forehead, right? Benefit number 8, improves sleep and insomnia. That's right. So for all of my people out there who can't get a good night's sleep, well, guys, it's time to turn on the lavender oil. That's right. Here's what you got to understand is that lavender oil has sedative and calming properties. How nice. Benefit number 10, relieves pain. Oh, amazing, right? What's the cause? It's the oil. And benefit number 10, it's a complementary therapy for cancer. How so? It's all about the oil. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, 10 amazing health benefits from lavender oil. All right, now it's time to talk about food. Yes, vegan food at Dat Plant Foods is where it's at. Guys, our go-to website for everything vegan is forksoverknives.com. Now, I did my research and unfortunately I only came across one recipe asking for lavender, right? So I thought I'd share it with you. Check it out. Summer pudding with fresh berries and lavender cashew cream. Now take a look at this picture. Looks scrumptious and delicious. I'm ready to eat. Now guys, if you're like me, your mouth is probably watering right now. And if that's the case, all you have to do is click on the description box. Why? Because I'm going to give you a direct link to this recipe. That's right. Now, when you get there, you're going to find some wonderful information. You're going to find an ingredient list. You're going to find instructions, pictures, and maybe even a video. That's right, guys. So do me a favor. Click on the description box. Click on the link. Make the dish, taste the dish, and come back to the video and share your thoughts. So there we have it, guys. One amazing vegan lavender recipe from forksoverknives.com. All right, 23% Nation, I hear you. A lot of you say, well, Coach D, thanks for the fun facts. Thanks for the not so fun facts and the missing nutrition facts. But what I really want to know is, when in the world should I eat more lavender? Well, guys, remember, we're not necessarily eating the lavender. Instead, we're using the lavender oil. Okay? But I got to tell you something, that the perfect day to use it, or maybe even make a dish with it, right, is going to be Nature Day. That's right, guys, Nature Day. Now, here's what we need to know. Nature Day is actually the first day of the 23% challenge. Now, maybe you've been living under a rock, and maybe you've never heard of the challenge before, and that's okay. Here's what you need to know. The 23% challenge is a monthly 7-day wellness program that is designed to help improve your health, your wealth, and your relationships. Now, there are 2 things that we need to know about the challenge. Number 1, it's monthly, and number 2, it's only 7 days. Now, being that Nature Day is the first day of the challenge simply means that Nature Day is the first day of every month. So whether it's June 1st, November 1st, or January 1st, it's always Nature Day. Okay, now some of us may want to know what Nature Day is all about. Well, guys, Nature Day is simply about eating more plants. That's right, guys. That's our 3-word mantra. Now, for some people, eating more plants may be difficult. For others, it may be a cinch, right? Well, this is for those of us who think it's difficult to eat more plants. Guys, you can try the 12-hour approach, right? Meaning, only eat plants and drink water before 12 p.m. That way, after 12 p.m., you can eat and drink whatever you want. Now, for those of us who can't do before 12 p.m., meaning in the a.m., you may want to do after 12 p.m. That way, before 12 p.m., you can eat and drink whatever you want. Now, some of us are saying, all right, Coach D, 12 hours of plant foods and water is not enough. I need more. So if that's you, well, how about you try to become a 3% vegan? Now, that's any person, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only one day out of an entire month. Next up is a 10% vegan. That's anyone, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 3 days out of an entire month. Next up is a 17% vegan. That's any person, man, woman, or child, who only eats plant foods and drinks only water only 5 days out of an entire month. And lastly is the ultimate 23% vegan. Now, technically, that's what Coach D considers himself to be. So what does that mean? It means that for the first 7 days, I only eat from the 5 food groups of plant foods, which happen to be fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, legumes, and we cannot forget about whole grains. That's right, guys. And of course, let's not forget agua. So there we have it, guys. We now know what Nature Day is all about. Okay. Now, some people may have more questions. Some people may want to know, well, Coach D, who exactly should participate in Nature Day, right? I mean, I like plants, but I don't know if I should participate on the first day of every month. Well, let me explain it to you just a little more. So maybe you have a physical condition. Maybe you have a mental condition. And maybe you're looking for a natural, holistic approach to your healing. So if you have the big 4, meaning heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, and obesity, maybe you have skin issues such as pimples and acne and psoriasis and eczema. Maybe you have digestive issues like constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, leaky gut syndrome, right? Or maybe you have mental issues such as bipolar, or maybe you're depressed, or maybe you're sad, or maybe you are angry all the time, right? It's easy. Eat more plants. Maybe you want to change your physical appearance. Maybe you want to drop some body fat or bulk up with some lean muscle. It's easy. Eat more plants. Or maybe you're kind of sick of the standard American diet and now you want to transition to a more whole food plant-based diet. It's easy, guys. Eat more plants. Or maybe you don't want to get rid of the processed foods, the animal products, and the meat quite yet, but you still want to eat more plants. Why? Because you heard it was a trendy thing to do. It's easy, guys. Eat more plants by simply participating in or on Nature Day. All right, it's time for Coach D's tips. Why am I giving tips? Why am I giving help and advice? Well, because I want your Nature Day to be successful. So, tip number 1, go to your local grocery store. Now, when you get there, you're going to go to 3 places. Number 1 is the produce section. Number 2 is the freezer aisle. And number 3 is the canned good aisle. Now, why am I sending you to those 3 places in particular? Well, that's where you're going to find your plant foods. Now, some of us may be wondering, Coach D, which is the healthiest? Fresh, frozen, or canned? Well, guys, I'll put them in healthy order, shall I say. Number 1 is fresh. Number 2 is frozen. And number 3 is canned. Now, the reason why I put canned plant foods in dead last is because canned plant foods have undergone quite a bit of processing. And unfortunately, they lose a lot of their nutrient content through those processing stages. So unfortunately, a lot of the nutrients are taken out. And unfortunately, a lot of toxins are added. So that's why I will always place canned plant foods behind fresh and frozen. Tip number 2, go visit the prepared dishes section of your local grocery store. Now, this is for those of us who like to walk over to the prepared dishes section. It may be called the kitchen. And you see a person standing behind the counter, and in a glass case, they have lots and lots and lots and lots of plant foods, right? You just simply walk on over there, take a look, ask them if they have any vegan, not vegetarian options. If you see something that you don't quite know what it is, ask for a sample. Don't worry, it's free. And if you like it, go ahead and purchase it by the pound, right? Tip number 3, go visit your local farmer's market. Now, this is for those of us who prefer organic plant foods. This is for those of us who prefer non-GMO plant foods, right? Well, guys, farmers markets do an excellent job of catering to the organic plant food market. Why? Because that's what they do. And they only have food grown from local farmers. That's right. So don't be surprised if you get better pricing. Tip number 4, go visit your local vegan restaurant. Now, the reason why I'm recommending vegan restaurants is because vegan restaurants do a really good job at hiring vegan chefs who basically know not only how to cook plant foods, but they also know which plant foods to combine to yield the most nutritious, delicious dishes. So please get up and go visit your local vegan restaurant. And my last tip to help make your Nature Day successful is to get a subscription to a vegan meal prep company. That's right. Now, here's how they operate. You give them a call or maybe visit their website. Introduce yourself, of course. Listen, they make the food, they deliver the food, you eat the food. It's just that simple. Now, this one I highly recommend for those of us who don't know how to cook plant foods, for those of us who don't want to cook plant foods, right? Hey, let somebody else do the cooking for you. So there we have it, guys. 5 amazing tips to help make your Nature Day successful. All right, it's time for our question of the day, and this comes from yours truly and the rest of the 23% nation. We have inquiring minds. So we want to know, and by the way, this is a fill-in-the-blank question, right? The Egyptians used lavender for mummification and as a perfume. In fact, when King Tut's tomb was opened in 1923, there was said to be a faint scent of something, blank, that could be detected after 3,000 years. Now, I believe I covered this information earlier in the lecture, so if you got it, great. Please write your answer in the comment box below. If you didn't, you can always hit rewind. Guys, I want to thank you for watching. I definitely want to thank you for listening. As always, let's eat well, feel well, think well, do well, be well. This is your man, Coach D. I'm signing out, but always remember to subscribe, share, comment, and like the video. And don't forget to use our 3-word mantra. It's #EatMorePlants. Always remember to take care, God bless, and never ever forget that Coach D loves you.